UN Charter and Budapest Memorandum: Opportunities for protecting Belarusian sovereignty and punishing those guilty of crimes against humanity in Belarus. The translation of this report was prepared for Mr. Mikhail Kucherov on 6 October 2021. Report to the Legal Conference, Nuremberg, October 11, 2021, of the international initiative The Road to the Hague in Belarusian Шлях до Гаагі, coordinated by the Institute for the Study of Russian Aggression in Kiev. Speaker is Mikhail Kucherov, IT specialist, political refugee since 2002, coordinator of the international campaign The Road to the Hague, and the civil online community Association of Belarusians of Luxembourg and Belarusian Zgurtavanne беларусаў Luxembourga. On the 29th of September 2021, the head of the National Anti-Crisis Management, NAM, Pavel Latushka, suggested that the democratic forces should work out a unified strategy for the short and medium term. He said, "This is the time to make political decisions and to take responsibility for them. This is the time to act." NAM proposed to create a Belarusian democratic platform for the widest possible communication and coordination of actions and to convene a Congress of Belarusians to decide on the establishment of alternative institutions of power to those created by the regime. In order to develop a unified strategy and its implementation by alternative institutions of power, it is necessary to determine the status of Belarus under the Lukashenko regime and the way back to the status acquired by Belarus in the system of international law before. As the most affected during the Second World War, Belarus and Ukraine received the right to become the founders of the United Nations among 50 countries and to sign the UN Charter at a conference in San Francisco on June 26, 1945. Belarus and Ukraine are the architects of the international security system. In the picture, People's Commissar for Foreign Affairs of the BSSR, Belarus Soviet Socialist Republic, Kuzma Kiselov, signs the UN Charter on the 26th of June 1945. On December 5, 1994, the nuclear powers, United States, Great Britain and Russia, provided Belarus and Ukraine with security guarantees under the Budapest Memorandum, in brackets Memorandum, on the principles of the OSCE Helsinki Final Act for their renunciation of nuclear weapons and accession to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons of July 1, 1968, NPT. On the same day, France and China joined the memorandum with their diplomatic notes. 5th of December 1994, signing of the Budapest Memorandum by President of Russia Boris N. Yeltsin, US President William J. Clinton, UK Prime Minister John Major. Securities guaranteed under the memorandum are an action warranted by the nuclear powers in relation to Belarus and Ukraine to the OSCE principles. By renouncing such conditions from nuclear weapons, Belarus and Ukraine strengthened the international nuclear non-proliferation regime and the security system in the OSCE region, and linked the existence of these security regimes to the exercise of Belarus and Ukraine's rights to state sovereignty and territorial integrity. In other words, in countries with the status of founders of the United Nations and with security guarantees under the Budapest Memorandum on the principles of the OSCE, international crimes must be excluded a priori. After all, the responsibility for their implementation lies with the guarantor countries, permanent members of the UN Security Council, responsible for maintaining the security regime in the world. Still, the main responsibility for committing crimes against humanity in Belarus and war crimes in Ukraine lies within the citizens of these countries. International crimes are the result of non-compliance with generally accepted norms of international law. Recent events are developing in the direction of creating a precedent in the world practice of confrontation between two states, which are guaranteed security under the memorandum. Thus, Belarusians will be forced to defend the allied Crimea as part of the Union army with the aggressor Russia. Understanding the tragic consequences of this prompted the Association of Belarusians of Luxembourg to launch the Way to the Hague international campaign in September 2020 to return Belarus and Ukraine to international law by bringing those responsible for international crimes to justice in the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The coordinators of this campaign are representatives of the Belarusian and Ukrainian diasporas. The Hague International Criminal Court. If Nuremberg is associated with the condemnation of Nazi crimes following the results of World War II, the Luxembourg claims to be associated with the cessation of international crimes and the restoration of the security system in the OSCE region, destroyed by the confrontation between Russia and the West. The EU program Eastern Partnership versus Union State of Russia and Belarus. The joint declaration on the digital economy of the EU and the Eastern Partnership was approved in Luxembourg on 11th of June 2015. It includes the Belarusian proposal for the assertion of partner countries to the European Declaration on E-Government, Malmö Declaration, E-Union Program, in order to implement the PACE recommendation on concluding additional agreements to the Budapest Memorandum, PACE resolution of April 9, 2014, 881988, 2014. Recent events in Ukraine threats to the functioning of democratic institutions. The implementation of the roadmap E-Ukraine plus E-Union and E-Belarus plus E-Union should be supported by the guarantor countries of the United States and the United Kingdom, lead to an end to international crime and the restoration of nuclear non-proliferation and security in the OSCE region. The joint declaration committed partner countries to institutional reforms. Accession to the E-Union program must be preceded by measures to establish the rule of law, rehabilitation, restitution, lustration, and democracy in order to close the digital divide with E-Union member states, EU countries, EU candidates and members of the European Free Trade Area, EFTA. Crimes against humanity in Belarus are a priority in the overall list and are the basis for consultations with US and British guarantor countries on the adoption by the UN Security Council of a special resolution to investigate these crimes at the International Criminal Court in The Hague under Article 13b of the Roman Statute. The guarantor countries should be considered on the basis of a report by the OSCE Moscow Mechanism, which recommended the establishment of an international platform for Belarus, IAPB, to bring to justice those responsible for serious human rights violations, including crimes against humanity. In order to confirm the right to call to account for the violation of the Budapest Memorandum in accordance with Article 45 of the Annex to the UN General Assembly Resolution of 12 of December 2001, number 56589, responsibility of states for international wrongful acts. A. In 1999, Belarus initiated the removal of Lukashenko from the post of President of the Republic of Belarus for committing serious criminal offenses under Article 356 of the Criminal Code of the Republic of Belarus, treason. H3, Article 357 of the Criminal Code of the Republic of Belarus, seizure and retention of power in an unconstitutional way involving the killing of people, and Article 128 of the Criminal Code of the Republic of Belarus, crimes against human security, so-called Gonchar's conclusion. I will read the translation to this document, so-called Gonchar's conclusion. Project Resolution of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Belarus on measures to implement the conclusions of the Special Commission on the Legal Assessment of Violations by the President of the Republic of Belarus, Lukashenko, of the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Belarus. Having heard the conclusions of a special commission of the legal assessment of violations by the President of the Republic of Belarus, Lukashenko, of the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Belarus, guided by Article 104 of the Constitution of the Republic of Belarus, the Supreme Council of the Republic of Belarus decides, first, to agree with the summary contained in the conclusion of the Special Commission, Section 1, Crimes Against the State, that the actions of the President of the Republic of Belarus, Lukashenko, contain signs of a crime specified in the Article 61, Part 2 of the Criminal Code of the Republic of Belarus. 2. To be recognized as impossible for President of the Republic of Belarus, Lukashenko, to perform his duties until the Supreme Council of the Republic of Belarus makes an appropriate decision. 3. The Prosecutor's Office of the Republic of Belarus, the Chairman of the State Security Committee of the Republic of Belarus, V. Matskevich, and the Minister of International Affairs of the Republic of Belarus, V. Agolts, to ensure the execution of paragraph 2 of this resolution. 4. The Special Commission to proceed working on sections 2, 3, 4 of the conclusion, crimes in the sphere of economic activity, crimes against the political and other rights of citizens, official crimes. State bodies, organizations, and officials to provide the necessary conditions for the implementation by the Special Commission of its powers. The Prosecutor's Office of the Republic of Belarus to bring to the responsibility as statutory required persons who hinder the activities of the Special Commission. 5. The resolution comes into force from the moment of its adoption. Chairman of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Belarus, S. Sharetsky. B. In Ukraine, on the Belarusian initiative, on May 23, 2019, opened criminal proceedings under Part 1 of Article 111 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, treason, on the fact of concluding Minsk agreements to the detriment of security guarantees of Ukraine under the Budapest Memorandum, with the resumption of negotiations on December 9, 2019, in the normal format. The investigation of this case was put on hold. Belarus, under the Lukashenko regime, is in the status of a captured state. On December 5, 1994, Alexander Lukashenko signed the Budapest Memorandum. Less than 6 months later, violating the declaration of state sovereignty of Belarus and putting an end to the principles of the OSCE Memorandum, on May 14, 1995, Lukashenko held an illegal referendum on integration with the Russian Federation and changing the state historical symbol of Belarus to the former Soviet ones. As a result of this referendum, on April 2, 1996, an agreement on the establishment of a community of Russia and Belarus was concluded. This allowed Lukashenko, with Russian support, to avoid impeachment for violating the constitution and laws of the Republic of Belarus. November 22, 1996, with the direct participation of senior Russian officials E.S. Stroev, G.N. Seleznyov, V.S. Chernomyrdin, between Alexander Lukashenko and Semyon Sharetsky, chairman of the Supreme Council of the 13th Convocation of the Republic of Belarus, signed the agreement on the socio-political situation and the constitutional reform in the Republic of Belarus. I will read to you the translation of this document. Supreme Council of the Community of Belarus and Russia, Resolution November 22, 1996, number 10. On agreement between the President of the Republic of Belarus, A. Lukashenko, and Supreme Council of the Republic of Belarus about socio-political situation and the constitutional reform in the Republic of Belarus. Realizing its responsibility for the fate of the community of Belarus and Russia, having discussed the socio-political and economic situation in the Republic of Belarus in the countdown to the Republican referendum on November 24, 1996, the Supreme Council of the Community of Belarus and Russia decided To approve the agreement of the President of the Republic of Belarus, A.G. Lukashenko, and the Supreme Council of the Republic of Belarus on the socio-political situation and constitutional reform in the Republic of Belarus, dated November 22, 1996, text attached. The Supreme Council of the Community of Belarus and Russia appeals to the entire Belarusian people, to political parties, social movements, deputies of the Supreme Soviet of the Republic of Belarus, the media, with the proposal to direct their efforts to consolidate the Belarusian society and strictly follow the provisions of the aforementioned agreement. The Supreme Council of the Community of Belarus and Russia counts on the correct understanding and support by the international community of the adopted decisions. Chairman of the Supreme Council, A.G. Lukashenko. Members of the Supreme Council, G.N. Seleznyov, E.S. Stroev, V.S. Chernomyrdin, S.G. Sharetsky. By interfering in the internal affairs of the sovereign Belarus, Russia violated paragraph 3 of the Budapest Memorandum, thwarted Lukashenko's impeachment, and helped him hold a referendum of November 24, 1996, to destroy the country's constitutional order. By signing the agreement on the socio-political situation and constitutional reform in the Republic of Belarus, the Russian Federation subordinated to its interests the realization of the rights inherent in the state sovereignty of the Republic of Belarus. From that moment on, Belarus has a status similar to the Ukrainian temporarily occupied territories and is governed by the Kremlin through its protégé Lukashenko. In order to liberate Belarus from the status of a captured state and return it to the system of international law, it is proposed to support NAM's proposal to create a Belarusian democratic platform with the formation of alternative institutions of power at the World Congress of Belarusians. This step should be aimed at preventing the armed confrontation of Belarusians in the alliance with the Russians against the Ukrainians. At the World Congress of Belarusians on 31st of October 2020, a vote was held, according to which 96.8% of its participants gave the chairman of the Council of the Belarusian People's Republic, Ivonka Survila, to Svetlana Tikhanovskaya and Pavel Latushka, head of NAM, the power to represent the interests of Belarusians in prosecuting Alexander Lukashenko in the International Criminal Court in The Hague, in the process of implementing the roadmap e-Belarus plus e-Union. It is proposed to consider the e-Belarus platform as the Belarusian democratic platform. The political and legal basis of e-Belarus activities is the Belarus Constitution of 1994, Gonchar's Conclusion, and the Budapest Memorandum. E-Belarus residency will be provided on the basis of passports of Belarusian citizens living both in its territory and abroad, in synchronization with the European Digital Identification System, EDIF. It is proposed to link the creation of the international platform for Belarus for prosecuting crime criminals with the creation of e-Belarus, with the integration of digital state platform services with EU services, and with the EU for Digital, e-Union regional network. Joe Biden. The world is divided into digital democracies and authoritarian regimes. The accession of partner countries to e-Union is reflected in the strategy of the Eastern Partnership Civil Society Forum, Information Society instead of War. The Steering Committee of the EU for Digital initiative is recommended to urgently initiate the creation of a regional network of EU for Digital, e-Union, under the control of the Council of Europe, the European Union, and the OSCE. EU for Digital, e-Union, scheme regional network formation on OSCE principles. The involvement of the Council of Europe, the European Union and the OSCE in restoring the regional security system was addressed by the OSCE during the online conference Digital Technologies and Human Rights, Opportunities and Challenges, an additional meeting on the Human Dimension 3. This is reflected in the proposal of Belarus to the Ukrainian government on the activities of the Crimean platform. In the process of forming the Belarusian democratic platform e-Belarus, it is necessary to take real action to give it international legal personality. On May 12, 2020, the Belarusian Social Democratic Party Hromada appealed to UN to repeal Article 103 of the UN Charter of Registration in the UN Secretariat of the so-called Treaty on the Establishment of a Union State between the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. Since March 18, 2014, the Union State includes the Ukrainian Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol. Belarus violates the international policy of non-recognition of their changed status, approved on March 27, 2014 by 100 countries by UN General Assembly Resolution number 68/262, Territorial Integrity of Ukraine. The Russian Federation and the Lukashenko regime voted against the resolution. I will read to you the translation of this document. May 12, 2020, number 211/13, UN Office in Belarus. Kiev Street, number 17, 220030, Minsk. Dear Mrs. Kazana-Vishnevska, at the moment, negotiations are underway between the authorities of Russia and Republic of Belarus to sign a deep integration program within the framework of the Union State of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. The Union Treaty between the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus was registered on September 1st, 2000, registration number 36929, at the UN Secretariat with the issuance of a corresponding certificate in accordance with Article 102 of the UN Charter. On March 18, 2014, the Russian Federation and the Republic of Crimea signed an agreement on the admission of the self-proclaimed Republic of Crimea to the Russian Federation, with the establishment in Crimea of two new subjects of the Russian Federation, the Republic of Crimea and the federal city of Sevastopol. On March 27, 2014, the UN General Assembly, reaffirming the primary importance of the UN Charter in promoting the rule of law in relations between states, adopted resolution number 68/262, Territorial Integrity of Ukraine. The UN General Assembly, recalling the obligations of all states provided for in Article 2 of the UN Charter to refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state, and to resolve their international disputes by peaceful means, referring to the Declaration of Principles of International Law and the final act of the Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe of August 1st, 1975. The implementation of the principles of which is a guarantee of Ukraine's security under the Budapest Memorandum of December 5, 1994. In connection with Ukraine's accession of the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, called on all states, international organizations, and specialized institutions not to recognize for any chance in the status of the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol following the March 16, 2014 referendum, which was not sanctioned by Ukraine, and refrain from any action or steps that could be understood as recognition of any such change in status. The Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus didn't support the UN General Assembly Resolution number 28/262, Territorial Integrity of Ukraine. Belarus received security guarantees from the nuclear states under the Budapest Memorandum thanks to Ukraine. By renouncing nuclear weapons, in exchange for security guarantees based on the principles of the OSCE Helsinki Final Act. Ukraine and Belarus have made a significant contribution to strengthening and maintaining the international nuclear non-proliferation regime and the Euro-Atlantic security system, linking their existence with the realization by Ukraine and Belarus of the rights inherent in their state sovereignty and with their territorial integrity. The Union State of the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus, with their Ukrainian territory, the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol, undermines the international nuclear non-proliferation regime and the Euro-Atlantic security system. Based on the foregoing, guided by Article 103 of the UN Charter, the Belarusian Social Democratic Party Hromada asks to cancel the registration with the UN Secretariat of the Union Treaty between the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. Chairman of the BSDP, Belarusian Social Democratic Party Hromada, I. Borisov. Recommendations: to start institutional reforms in the framework of the implementation of the roadmap e-Belarus plus e-Union provided by joint declaration on the digital economy of the EU and the Eastern Partnership, with the support of the United States and Great Britain, the guarantors of Belarus security under the Budapest Memorandum. To start the formation of the register of e-residents of the e-Belarus platform with the placement of servers in the EU country, with the attraction of funding from the EU assistance package. Third, to prepare a political and legal opinion on the basis of Gonchar's conclusion and the crimes committed by Lukashenko after his commission of serious criminal offenses, to deprive him of his status immunity with the approval of the decision at the World Congress of Belarusians of 2020. Fourth, begin consultations with the guarantor countries of the United States and the United Kingdom on the adoption by the UN Security Council of a special resolution to investigate crimes against humanity in Belarus at the International Criminal Court in The Hague under Article 13b of the Rome Statute. Fifth, in view of the accusations made by Lukashenko of seizing and retaining state power in an unconstitutional manner, involving the killing of people and crimes against humanity, to proceed with the formation of a register of representatives of the judicial system of the state involved in complicity in the crimes of Lukashenko by issuing knowingly illegal sentences on behalf of the Republic of Belarus in cases of bringing knowingly innocent accused. Articles 392 and 393 of the Criminal Code of the Republic of Belarus. Further actions of the leaders of the democratic forces within the framework of the 1996 Constitution or the adoption of a new constitution in the presence of Gonchar's conclusion will be regarded as legalization, complicity of the crime of seizing and retaining state power since 1996, destruction of the constitutional order of Belarus. After the Nuremberg Conference, these actions will be reflected in the implementation e-Belarus plus e-Union. European Parliament resolution on the situation in Belarus after a year of protests and their brutal suppression, October 7, 2021. All the information regarding the documents mentioned in this report will be placed